For the longest time, I felt like life was just happening around me, like I was a spectator, not a player. Then, one day, it hit me, a realization so stark, it was like a wake-up call. I discovered this powerful force, the law of assumption. It dawned on me that our thoughts aren't just fleeting, they're the blueprints of our future. At that moment, I wondered, what am I missing by not using this power? This isn't just philosophy, it's a way of life that can turn your deepest desires into reality. Stick around, and I'll show you how it transformed my world and how it can do the same for yours. Have you ever noticed how a single thought can grow into a belief that shapes your entire day? It's like planting a seed in the garden of your mind. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this. I had a friend, James, who always assumed he would never succeed in his career. This belief was so deeply ingrained in him that despite his talent, he never took the chances that came his way. His mind was a garden, but instead of nurturing flowers, he was watering weeds of doubt and fear. One day, James met a mentor who challenged his assumptions. He told James, "Your reality is the harvest of your thoughts. Change the seeds, change the garden." This was a turning point for James. He started to question his long-held beliefs and slowly replaced them with positive affirmations. He didn't transform overnight, but over time, the seeds of positivity started to sprout. Now let's turn the focus back to you. Think about your own garden. What kind of seeds have you been planting? It's easy to fall into the trap of negative thinking, especially when life throws curveballs your way. But here's the critical part. Your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and a strongly held belief. It's like the placebo effect in medicine. Patients heal because they believe they're receiving real treatment, even if it's just a sugar pill. Your beliefs can trigger real changes in your life, both good and bad. So what happens if you don't take control of your garden? You risk living in a reality shaped by random, uncontrolled thoughts, a wild forest rather than a well-tended garden. And here's the thing, you don't have to make a massive shift right away. It starts with one positive thought, one seed of belief. For James, it began with changing "I can't" to "I can try." You might be wondering, how does this apply to me? It's simple. The law of assumption isn't just a mystical theory, it's a practical tool. Start by identifying one limiting belief you hold. Replace it with something positive, even if it feels small. Watch how this new seed takes root and begins to change the landscape of your mind. As you nurture it, you'll start to see the effects ripple out into your life. Your reality begins to align with these new, empowering thoughts. It's not just a theory, it's a transformation waiting to happen in your life. Ever felt like you're trapped in a lens that only shows you what can go wrong? I've been there. It's a place where every decision feels like walking through a fog of doubt. I remember a time when I was convinced that my ideas were too unconventional to be accepted. This belief was so strong that it colored my entire perception of the world. I was living in a reality crafted by my own limiting assumptions. But then, something shifted. I stumbled upon the concept of cognitive biases, the idea that our brain has a habit of proving itself right. It was like discovering a secret door in a familiar room. If our brain looks for evidence to support our beliefs, what if we feed it positive, empowering beliefs? This was the moment I decided to experiment with my own mindset. I began by challenging the belief that my ideas were too out there. Instead, I started to assume that my unique perspective was an asset, not a liability. At first, it felt awkward, like wearing clothes that didn't fit. But as I persisted, something remarkable happened. The more I believed in the value of my ideas, the more others did too. It was as if my brain started showing me a different movie, one where my ideas were not only accepted but celebrated. This shift didn't just change my outlook, it changed my reality. Doors opened where there seemed to be only walls. Opportunities that I would have previously dismissed as unattainable now seemed within reach. It was a profound lesson in how the lens through which we view the world shapes our experience of it. Now think about your own life. Are there beliefs holding you back, tinting your world with doubt or fear? Remember, these aren't just passive thoughts. They're active participants in creating your reality. By recognizing and altering these ingrained beliefs, you can start to see the world through a new lens, one of possibility and potential. As you approach the end of this point, consider this. The law of assumption is not just about thinking positively. It's about understanding how your brain can be your greatest ally or your biggest obstacle. When you align your beliefs with what you desire, your brain starts working in your favor, opening up a world of possibilities. It's a journey of transformation that begins in the deepest parts of your mind, and its effects can be life-changing. The key lies in recognizing the power you hold over your thoughts and, consequently, over your reality. There's a story that always inspires me about a young musician named Anne. She dreamt of performing on grand stages but was crippled by the assumption that she wasn't talented enough. This belief was like a shadow, following her every step, dimming the brightness of her music. Then, one day, Anne decided to change her tune. She began to assume that her music could touch people's hearts, that her talent was enough. This small shift in her assumption was like a pebble thrown into a lake, creating ripples that transformed her world. Anne's music didn't change overnight, but her approach to it did. She started playing at small local venues, each performance a testament to her new belief. With every chord she struck, she reinforced the assumption of her talent and worth. The more she believed in herself, the more others did too. Soon, she was playing at larger venues, her dream slowly taking shape in front of her eyes. Now, let's bring this back to you. Your life is also like a lake, calm and waiting for your input. Every assumption you make is like a pebble. Some create ripples of positivity, others of negativity. But here's the crucial part: you get to choose which pebbles you throw. Like Anne, you can start with one positive assumption about yourself. Watch how it creates waves, influencing every aspect of your life. It's not just about making one big leap. It's about the continuous small ripples that build upon each other. Every positive assumption you make sets off a chain reaction, creating a pattern of positive events and opportunities. This is the power of the law of assumption. It's not a magic wand that changes everything in an instant. It's more like gardening, where you plant seeds, nurture them, and watch them grow over time. So, what does this mean for you? It means that the power to shape your reality lies within your grasp. Every day, with every thought and assumption, you're either building the life you want or reinforcing the life you don't. The choice is yours. By consciously choosing positive, empowering assumptions, you set off a ripple effect that can lead to incredible transformations. As we near the end of this section, remember Anne's story. Your assumptions can either be the anchor that holds you back or the sail that propels you forward. Choose them wisely, nurture them patiently, and watch as the ripples they create bring your desires to life. The journey to your dreams begins with a single assumption, a single belief in the possibility of your own potential. Just when you think you've grasped the power of your assumptions, you realize there's so much more beneath the surface. It's a reminder that this is just the beginning of a transformative journey. The real magic lies in what you do next, in the assumptions you choose to cultivate from here on. Your path to realizing your dreams is paved with the beliefs you hold. If you're ready to dive deeper and unlock even greater potential, Join me in exploring how to master mental alchemy. It's your guide to transforming your thoughts into tangible reality, one powerful assumption at a time.